Hi, I'm John Maxwell. When the top companies in the world are looking for trainers, speakers, and coaches, there's one name that stands above the rest, and that's Maxwell Leadership. Our certified team members have gotten proven results for companies all over the globe, and our reputation, I'm proud to say, is second to none. Some of our members have risen to the top of their profession, including the one you're going to meet today. I proudly introduce you to my friend Bob Fabian Zinka.
Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you need to develop into a better leader, this podcast is for you. If you want to achieve a greater level of success, this podcast is for you. His mentor, Dr. John C. Maxwell, said it best: everything rises and falls on leadership. We hope to inspire you today and provide you with an insight that has the potential to positively impact the trajectory of your life. Welcome to the Leadership and Success Podcast.
Imagine gaining the leadership skills that could redefine your career. Join Coach BZ on the Leadership and Success Podcast, where each episode delivers practical insights from world-class speakers, military leaders, and industry experts. We dive deep into what matters most: building resilient teams, leading through uncertainty, and navigating complexity with clarity and confidence. Every conversation is crafted for aspiring leaders like you who are ready to grow, lead, and make a lasting impact. Don't miss our powerful live sessions and recent highlights. Michelle Hayward on building diverse, high-performing technical teams. Ann Leslie on leading through global complexity and cybersecurity risk. Ron Carpenter AI exploring faith, resilience, and AI-powered leadership. Colonel Michelle G.I. Gardner-Ince on commanding influence from the battlefield to the boardroom. Chris Robinson on shifting from drift to drive in life and leadership. And Coach Enrique Acosta Gonzalez on mentorship, legacy, and heart-centered leadership. Ready to level up your leadership journey? Tune in on Spotify, Apple, Audible Podcasts, YouTube Live, and LinkedIn Live. Join the movement toward leadership excellence. Listen now and start transforming your success.
Why should people come to the summit?
It's a wonderful opportunity for all, and it's designed specifically on January 29th and 30th. Now, if it wasn't called the Goal Achiever Summit, we'd have it for another date. But it's very interesting because statistics and research recently has shown that 33% of Americans think about goals between Christmas and New Year's. Now, they don't think about goals during June or March or Easter or Halloween. They think about goals during Christmas and New Year. So we really want to tap into people's mindset at that particular time. So what we've done is we've set out 2 days on the 29th and the 30th, leaving New Year's open for anyone to do what they want with it because it's somewhat of a sacred day. But, you know, if there's any place you want to be on New Year's Eve, it's Orlando.
Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, you mentioned Zig Ziglar when he was alive. All of those people, you really get it back into ancient scripture. It is all written black and white in the Bible. Now, they say it differently. You can apply it differently, but really the core message comes straight out of the Bible. Again, not to be religious or anything like that, but just to learn those principles that would help you live a better life, add value people, and develop those great core values. Now, you mentioned character earlier, becoming a person of character and integrity. It's really life changing if you let it.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So second segment of the second half of the show, what are you learning now? Because I know leaders are learners. What's on your plate? What are you learning?
The ongoing quest, never-ending quest for wisdom.
Yes.
You know, I love the book of Proverbs. That's, by the way, you asked me at the beginning, what's my favorite book? The Bible, the Bible for sure. But there's one book I zero in on every single day. It's got 31 chapters, 31 chapters, and most days in the month have 31 days. So it's really, if you forget this, but you can make the connection, I read a chapter that's congruent with the date. So this morning I woke up, it's the 28th of we are the 28th of July.
Yes.
Right. So I went to Proverbs 28 and I read the chapter for today. And I do that endlessly every single morning. And it sometimes, if I miss it, I could then go back to the chat. But for most part, but it really sets my heart, my very articulate, talented one, and so forth. And I was very, very confused about life. And I didn't quite have all the understanding of who God was and what the meaning of my life is. And going back to my mother, she was the reason why I'm here today. Her great love stood in the gap, you know, and God showed up for me in the most interesting way in one of the most adverse down times of my life that I'm not sure I could fully, I'm not sure I'm at the place where I can feel comfortable talking about it publicly right now. But he met me. He met me. I did not reach out to him and discover him. He's the one who came and met me. And that transformed my understanding of who he was and the meaning of the love of God. Yes.
Now, some of the people who are watching, listening right now, they're going through a very, very personal, tough time. What would you tell them? What advice would you give from your experience?
What I would say is that there's a greater power out there that knows you, that cares for you, that is intimate to you. And if you just humble yourself, just go to that person who just grasp that all this universe did not happen by accident. There's a creative, beautiful, loving force. And it's not abstract. It's not far away. It's a force that's very close to the human heart. And if you go to that person of your understanding and you just lay out your burdens, your difficulties, I believe that the God of your understanding will meet you where you are. And, the Bible says, humble yourself before the Lord and he will lift you up,
That's powerful.
And I think that greatness is born out of the ashes of brokenness.
Welcome to our conversation. Today we're diving into a powerful journey about igniting passions, building leaders, and leading with kindness and truth. The story we're exploring centers on a servant leader, Phil R. Taylor, whose evolution from seminary dropout to summit builder shows us that our greatest setbacks can spark our most compelling comebacks.
I'm excited to unpack this. So, we're looking at a leader who, after being told he was not cut out for ministry, pivoted to sales and entrepreneurship, and then took those skills to connect incredible speakers with audiences. Isn't that fascinating?
Absolutely. It's like, when life closes one door, it opens another, maybe even builds an entire hall. Phil's journey is a perfect example of that, using failure as a teacher, transforming early setbacks into a foundation for servant leadership.
And, it really reminds us that failure doesn't define you, but rather refines you, right?
Exactly. I mean, Phil learned that core lesson early on in sales, that true selling isn't just transactional, it's about truly serving others. It's like, if you imagine a potluck dinner, everyone brings something unique to the table. Each contribution builds a richer experience and greater impact, and that's the core of his mastermind groups.
Right. The concept of the mastermind group here is really compelling. It's not just about sharing ideas, it's about building an intentional community where every member treats each other's goals as if they were their own.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how this ties into the great speakers are great people who speak well philosophy that Phil cites from Dottie Walters. It's a mindset that prioritizes authenticity and character over mere performance. When you lead with character, whether in military, tech, or any arena, you're building a legacy founded on integrity and service.
That brings me to a really interesting point. Phil's emphasis on personal character, integrity, humility, and teachability almost challenges the typical notion that sheer charisma is enough. Wouldn't you say that sometimes relying solely on charm can actually mask a lack of depth?
Absolutely, I agree with you there. There's a subtle critique in that point. It's like saying, hey, real leadership flows from within, not just the stage presence. Charisma might grab attention, but it's the integrity and servant heart that sustain long-term influence, giving leaders the gift of lasting connection with their teams.
And then there's the element of faith in all this. Phil is very open about how his life, though not conventionally religious, is deeply anchored in faith, even including daily moments with Proverbs, which set the tone for his day. It's interesting how he weaves together personal experience, biblical wisdom, and practical leadership principles.
Yes, it really is. Think about it. He recommends starting with something as timeless as the Bible, and specifically the book of Proverbs, to ground your day in wisdom. It's like having a daily breakfast that nourishes your soul, setting your heart on the right course. And then you combine that with practical advice like investing in personal growth, even if it's just 1% at first, gradually building up to more.
That gradual investment in yourself really resonates with a lot of leaders, doesn't it? Especially in high-intensity fields like cybersecurity and the military, where continuous learning is non-negotiable.
Exactly. And Phil's journey really underscores the importance of embracing failure as part of that learning curve. He openly talks about his early challenges, being kicked out of seminary, facing financial hardship as a newcomer in the US, and how these moments didn't break him. They informed his resilience, and that's a universal message for all emerging leaders.
I also love how he ties in the idea of serve first from Zig Ziglar's principle. It's interesting to note that serving others ultimately enriches your own journey too. But I wonder, isn't there a risk of losing sight of your own needs when you focus so much on serving others?
That's a great point. It's true that one has to balance self-care with serving others. Phil seems to advocate for a model where truth and kindness are woven together, a balance between caring for others and not sacrificing your own values. It's like, his formula is kindness and truth, reminding us that you need both for true leadership. This isn't about self-neglect, but rather self-fulfillment that enables you to serve better.
Speaking of formulas, I find it really impactful how the Goal Achievers Summit is structured. Timed perfectly between Christmas and New Year, when people naturally reflect on their goals, it creates an environment ripe for transformation.
Absolutely. The strategic timing of the summit is smart. 33% of Americans focus on goals during that period, which makes it a natural time for recalibration and inspiration. And at the summit, participants from leadership, entrepreneurship, sales, and marketing come together to share expertise, like a communal banquet of ideas and inspiration. It's a practical application of the mastermind principle we discussed.
And then there's the book Set Yourself on Fire, where Phil challenges readers to awaken their dormant dreams and redefine success not for self-glorification, but for service to others. It's such a dynamic blend of personal ambition interlaced with communal impact.
Yes, it's like igniting a spark that has the power to light up not only your own path, but also inspire everyone around you. This ethos of set yourself on fire goes beyond motivation. It's about disciplined goal setting, laser-focused passion, and most importantly, aligning your purpose with serving people.
Right.
And that's a timeless message.
Let's talk a little more about practical takeaways for our listeners. Phil emphasizes 5 key leadership principles: lead from the heart, serve first, embrace failure as a teacher, invest in personal development, and fear not. How do you see these working together in a real-world context?
I see them as building blocks, each one supporting the other. When you lead from the heart and serve first, you create a foundation of trust. Embracing failure teaches resilience, and investing in personal development ensures that you're constantly evolving. And the call to fear not anchors you in courage, crucial for any leader navigating uncertainty. It's a comprehensive roadmap to building character and achieving success in any field.
And speaking of character, I appreciate how Phil's story reminds us that great leadership isn't just about achievements. It's about who you are as a person, your integrity, humility, and your willingness to learn.
Exactly. It's a refreshing counterbalance to the idea that success is all about flashy results and external metrics. Instead, Phil's journey shows that the heart of lasting influence is inner character and consistent action. And that's something that, frankly, sometimes gets lost in our fast-paced world.
There's also an interesting recommendation he makes about investing in personal development. Even if you're on a tight budget, start small. That idea of starting with just 1% is very actionable. It really speaks to anyone who feels overwhelmed by the thought of self-improvement costs.
I totally agree. It's empowering because it means that regardless of where you start, every little bit counts. Like the principle, empty the coins of your purse into your mind, and your mind will fill your purse with coins. It's a tangible way to inspire action. Small, consistent investments in yourself lead to profound growth over time.
Right.
And that's a lesson for leaders across all sectors, from military to technology.
One thing that caught my attention is how Phil consistently returns to the theme of serving others. It really challenges the modern notion of individualism. Do you think that message of servitude still holds significant weight today?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, in today's world of relentless hustle and self-promotion, taking a back seat to serve others might seem counterintuitive, but it ultimately creates a legacy built on real, lasting relationships. When you make it about others, when you invest in their success, you inadvertently build your own. That's a challenge, but one worth embracing.
Given all this, what do you think is the main takeaway for those aspiring military and tech leaders out there who may be grappling with their own set of challenges?
For me, the core takeaway is to unlock your potential by aligning your actions with your values, whether that's courage, integrity, or kindness. It's about understanding that every setback is an opportunity, every failure a lesson, and every connection a chance to serve.
Yes.
And above all, not letting fear hold you back. Remember, fear not appears as many as 365 times in Scripture, one for every day, a reminder to push forward with faith.
That's such a powerful reminder, and it ties it all together. The personal struggles, the strategic investments in growth, and ultimately, the impact on others.
Definitely. It's the blend of personal transformation and service to others that makes a legacy truly enduring. Whether through a book like Set Yourself on Fire or by attending the Goal Achievers Summit in Orlando, the opportunities to grow and connect abound. The message is clear. Build your character, set purposeful goals, and always lead with kindness and truth.
Before we wrap up, one more thought. Sometimes the pursuit of goals can feel very self-centered. How do we ensure that, as we pursue success, we don't lose sight of others' needs?
That's a critical point. I'd say keep your heart open and practice daily gratitude. Remind yourself that your success is measured not in personal accolades alone, but in the positive impact you have on those around you. It's all about balance. Drive for personal excellence interwoven with a commitment to serve.
Right.
And that's a message every leader should take to heart.
Absolutely. This conversation has been a rich blend of inspiration and real-world practicality. I think our listeners are going to walk away feeling energized to lead with purpose and to invest in themselves and others.
I couldn't agree more. So, to everyone tuning in, reflect on these principles, embrace the journey even through the setbacks, and remember, great speakers, great leaders, and great people are all built from character, kindness, and fearless commitment to serve. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into a journey of passion and purpose.
Person, what do they need to know in order to maybe one day realize their dream?
Yeah, it's interesting you asked that. I was just on a podcast just before this one that asked me the opposite. What would your younger self ask you today? And so very interesting flip on that. It's interesting as you're saying that, and I didn't know you were going to ask this question, but I would put my arms around that 17-year-old. Is it a 17-year-old self?
Mhm.
I would comfort that 17-year-old and say, do not be afraid.
Wow.
I'm with you. I'm with you. And I think, it's interesting that the very thing that keeps us away from our achievements and our dreams and goals is fear. Fear is such a crippler, destroyer of dreams and goals and accomplishments. And we all have them. We have, I talk about it in Set Yourself on Fire. And it's interesting that in the Bible, the book that I pointed out to as being the most influential book of all time, there's at least 365 times that the book says, fear not, do not fear. 365. And how many days do we have in a year? 365 typically, right? Isn't that interesting? So there's a reason why God in his word says, fear not, do not be afraid. And then assure that person that there is a higher power, a loving God that will walk with you and be that person, be the person you want to see in the world. I would take that 17-year-old, I would put my arms around that 17 and say, don't be afraid. Let me help you. And I think that speaks to the importance of mentorship. I have a mentor here at the conference, National Speakers Association. I don't think he'll mind I mention his name. His name is Jim Rohde. He's 89 years young. He's the second oldest member of the National Speaker, 50 years in the association. Wow. Never missed, I think, an annual conference. He's been past president of the National Speakers Association, Cabinet Award recipient. He's a mentor.
Of the 17th principle of Napoleon Hill, working with his foundation. You've interviewed like hundreds of speakers. Can you tell us about that project, please?
Yeah.
And why in the world you're giving it away for free? This is something I would have spent hundreds of dollars when I was a poor student. Didn't even know where my next meal would be coming from. I would be saving money to purchase something like that just to get the wisdom. Can you tell us more about it?
Thank you. First of all, it's not me it's the generosities of the contributors and others and so many others. I was just a conduit, a part of that program, but it's 17 hours on Napoleon Hill's 17 principles of success that starts with a definite chief aim all the way to habit force. And there's 3 people, campfire kind of setting conversation where we enter a conversation on their experience with that principle, according to Napoleon Hill. Some of the people on that program are staple names. I know I'm going to forget some, but are people like Kent Blanchard, Brian Tracy, Mark Victor Hansen, Tom Hopkins. Did I say Harvey McKay? Ivan Meisner from BNI. I mean,
unbelievable.
Tony, some that have passed away where you'll never hear them again. And if you go to YouTube, just put Phil R. Taylor.
I will give them the direct link.
We just put it on just a few short months ago.
Wow, amazing.
Free, and it's 17 hours, and you plug that into your car while you're on a long drive or whatever.
Yes.
You're it's like you're sitting with us in that conversation, and it's so beautiful. Yes. Yeah.
No, that is definitely when you guys download or watch those YouTube video, or when you get the books that you're gonna be receiving free from listening to this podcast, Set Yourself on Fire. Act as if you had spent $1,000 for the resources, because one of the problem I have sometimes with receiving free things is because it's free, you think it's cheap, you think it has no value at all. I am telling you, these resources are worth.
Thank you for listening to the Leadership and Success Podcast with your host, Coach BZ. If you like what you heard, please subscribe to our channels and come back for more wisdom nuggets on how you may develop into a better leader and achieve greater levels of success. Leadership is the most critical skill. The world will always need leaders to lead others, deploy the next disruptive technology, or execute a business strategy. You may as well decide on counting yourself among the 21st century leaders. See you right here next time on the Leadership and Success Podcast with Coach